Hi and welcome to this Draw With Me video. I'm just going to be talking about my feelings about being an artist lately. I would love if you were drawing with me and we can chat in the comments, and let's get into the video. I am working with my Posca paint pens today and I will be sketching in my Ohuhu marker pad sketchbook. So I will have both of those linked below. And today I'm just going to be talking about some stuff that I've realized about running my art business and trying to take my art career seriously this year. Lately, I have been realizing how often I try to force a space from my art and to take more breaks, just allowing myself to rest. As artists, we are constantly surrounded by this idea that if we're not producing, we're falling behind. If we're not posting, launching, improving, or trying to monetize our craft, then we're somehow just wasting all of our time. And hustle culture can really convince you that rest is something that you're only allowed to get, that you only earn after you've exhausted yourself, after you've proven yourself, after you've accomplished everything you want to do. I'm learning that forcing creativity usually does the opposite of that. And it hinders me, hinders you, hinders everyone from being able to actually achieve what they want because they get burnt out. And I don't want that. I don't think you want that either. It doesn't help you make better art. Forcing yourself to work past your breaking point or to produce more and more and try to be like a robot, try to keep up with AI, it's not going to help you feel more inspired. It's just going to make you get disconnected from your arts and more tired in general and tired of creating. I have had so many days where I wanted to create something, but my body and my brain just weren't cooperating. They just told me, nope, not today. Today we are resting. And I just have to hope and believe that by doing that, I'm allowing my body the time and the space that it needs in order to be its best self and in order for me to eventually make my best art when I am able to come back to it. I don't always have consistent energy levels, and I don't always have the same mental health levels every day. So I have to monitor that and make sure that I'm not pushing myself too hard, too far, and I'm not trying to do more than I can handle on any given day, and then I'm not comparing myself to people who are able to knock out multiple art pieces a week or design a whole new product collection every month or every week. Like, I can't keep up with that. I have to have a slower pace personally in order to feel good with myself and with my mental health. And that's something that I'm learning about myself as I'm focusing on building my creative brand. So I used to not listen to my body. I used to not listen to my needs. And I would just force myself to go through with things, take on more projects, and do as much as I could to try and be like that girl boss, hustle culture, you got this, boss babe. Like I was all about all of that. When I couldn't do that, when my body was like shutting down and was forcing me to rest, I would tell myself that I was being lazy. I would tell myself that I just wasn't disciplined enough, that other artists were doing more than me, so I must be doing something wrong. I must be wrong. And that mindset I've seen online is so common, especially when you are trying to pursue your art full time, like you're trying to take it seriously. So much can get in your head, so many thoughts, so many doubts, and you can start to seriously doubt your dream of just being able to do this and being able to succeed. There's this pressure that I feel to treat every creative moment that I have, every idea, the same. Like, I need to tackle everything all at once. I need to make sure that my ideas don't run out and I keep acting on them. I think it's a bit of like a scarcity mindset. Every idea has to become something. Every sketch has to become a product. Every idea has to turn into something. Everything I do has to be optimized. And that's not sustainable. I don't think it's actually the way that creativity works. Because if you give every single idea the same merit, the same energy, you're not going to be able to take a step back and notice the ones that are really good and really worth putting all of your energy into. And when your life already can feel uncertain, like mine has a bit financially, emotionally, and mentally in the past year, that mindset and that pressure makes my art start to feel like I'm just not doing enough, or I have to try and compensate every single thing that I'm doing. And I've been trying to force a lot of things in my business and in my art journey that just haven't been working, and I need to acknowledge that and acknowledge how much pressure and how much of a heavy load that is to carry. So if you are relating to this so far, know that you don't have to carry all of this. You don't have to do everything all at once. For me, there have been long stretches of waiting, long stretches of time where I have not felt successful or fully stable in my art career, where I feel like I'm still waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for that breakthrough where a video goes viral or people find out about my art and people start buying it and supporting me. And I feel like during those times, looking back on that, if I allowed myself to slow down or take breaks, if I wasn't actively grinding and trying to make something of myself, I felt like I was wasting my potential and wasting my time. But burnout doesn't always come from doing too much at once. Sometimes it comes from just not letting yourself rest without shame, even if you're allowing yourself or your body is forcing you to take breaks. If your mind is still active during that time, if your mind is still going a mile a minute with everything you feel like you need to do, judging you, saying cruel or mean things about your lack of work ethic or how unmotivated you must be, or how just comparing yourself, trying to talk or beat yourself into doing the things you want to do. That's not okay. I've learned that doesn't actually help you, and that doesn't help me get better and want to start creating again. Something I think that we don't talk about enough just in general on social media is how much mental health is important as artists and as business owners. A lot of creatives have so much potential and so much talent, but if your mental health isn't where it needs to be, or you push yourself too hard to your breaking point, it's not sustainable. And you won't be able to be in this business or be creative for the long term. And this has happened to me before, where I've had to take long extended breaks from my channel or from just making new art, not because I didn't have talent, not because I didn't want to do anything, but because I just did not have the energy. So I'm realizing that sustainable creativity isn't about the intensity that you do things at, but it's about caring about longevity, about being able to do things forever, basically, for the rest of your life, and not burning yourself out hot and bright, but long sustained effort, long sustained practice. So that's why the phrase that I'm doing, "don't force it," means more to me than just taking a break. It means don't force productivity when your body is asking for rest. Don't force inspiration when your mind needs quiet. And don't force output just to prove that you're still an artist. If you've made art before, you're still an artist. If you have an idea in your head, you are an artist. That is also why I'm working in this sketchbook instead of trying to make it more polished. I'm making sure that there's absolutely zero pressure here, no expectation for this to be perfect, no requirement for it to perform well. I'm not even turning this into a product. I'm just making this because I want to make it, and because I need to prioritize that more often. And sometimes low stakes art is what keeps your creativity alive. It's what keeps you playful and fun and excited about the creative process. And even though I am sharing this with you all, not every art piece you make needs to be shared. Not everything needs to be monetized. Not everything needs to make sense. You can make art just for you, just in your sketchbook. And I have a lot of art that I never plan on sharing. So yeah, just make art for yourself. And if you're someone who feels guilty resting, like I can feel like that, especially if you're not where you want to be yet, and you know that if you just could put in more work, I could get X amount further. I want you to hear this. Rest is not a reward. It's maintenance. You don't have to earn it by suffering, because if you keep forcing yourself through exhaustion, your body will eventually force the break for you. And that break is usually so much harder than if you just let yourself rest when you need it. Taking things slowly does not mean that you're giving up. It means you're choosing to stay. You're choosing a pace that lets you keep creating, even if it's quieter than what the internet celebrates. Even if you're in your slow season right now, that doesn't mean you're behind. Art careers aren't linear, and that's something I need to remind myself of. They are cyclical. There are seasons for pushing and seasons for resting. And right now, I am in a season of rest. And that's okay to realize. There are seasons for sharing and seasons that you just want to keep to yourself. And all of those count. So today, if all you can do is a little tiny sketch on a small piece of paper or in your sketchbook or on your phone notes app, or if all you can do is just think about creating and you just need to rest and just exist, that is enough. You don't have to force it. Lastly, final thoughts. When I imagine doing my art full time and making this my career, which I want this to be a viable career option for me at some point, I want it to be a life where I am not constantly overwhelmed and I'm not constantly pressuring myself to do the most and to make the most amount of products and to make so many different art pieces. Like, I want a creative life where I'm not fighting or forcing myself to be productive all the time, where I can just go with the ebbs and flows of my energy levels, of my creativity, and that will be okay. That's what I'm trying to prioritize in my business moving forward. I made this drawing as a reminder to myself, so I'm going to refer to it and maybe I'll hang it up just so I can remind myself. So if you are watching this while working on your own art or your own channel or your own business, I hope this reminds you that you don't need to rush. You're allowed to build slowly. You're allowed to change your pace, and you're allowed to rest. So my drawing isn't about perfection, and you don't have to be perfect either. If this kind of honest, creative content resonates with you about being an artist and being a small business owner, then you are exactly who I make videos for, and I have more on my channel that you might love. So definitely feel free to check those out. And also, if you got to this point, I would love if you left a comment and told me what your favorite point was or what resonated with you the most. And those are my final thoughts. So thank you for watching. Please give this video a like if you want more art content, and subscribe because I am trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. That's a ways away, but I'm trying to reach it. Let me know what your favorite drawing was, or if you drew along with me. That would be really cool. And I'll see you in my next video. I wrote done for instead of done is better than perfect. What does that even mean? I'm just gonna say don't force it, I guess.